Hello and welcome to your daily oracle reading for Wednesday, October 16th, 2019. I'm Linda the Lightworker. I'm so glad you're here with me today. Let's jump into the cards. Our first card is this very powerful Temperance, and it's a major arcana card, which means it's a current reality for many of you. And the Temperance card is about moderation and finding the way. What about moderation? Well, Spirit's saying that the Temperance card is about balancing many things in your life and finding the right way that works for you to keep your energy in alignment. In the Motherpeace tarot deck, the Temperance card is depicted as this woman dancing with the fire, as this fire element is here as well. But it looks as if this heron is, the blue heron is crying, but these tears are feeding the fire. So Spirit's reminding you that movement and dance are exceptional ways to move that energy, especially old anger that you might have trapped in your body or rage from whatever situation that might have been going on before. You know, we all carry our past trauma with us. Even the human birth process is a trauma. I mean, when you think about it, coming out of that little space where it's warm and delicious and delightful into this cold, harsh human world from all the beautiful fluids of being in water. So see how far back, if there's any old trauma or any old habits. Oh, right. Okay, that's coming up on our next card, of things that you want to change about yourselves. You know, the most important thing is that we can point our finger at others, but it's only ourselves that we can change. So if you're finding yourself getting irritated with another person or someone you're living with, dance it out. And remember, you have to be the change that you want to see in your life. So our clarifier card comes from the Sandra Ann Taylor Energy Oracle deck. And I don't think we've had this card before. This is the attachment card. Now, this card literally flew out of my hand while I was doing our prayer and meditation before the reading. I don't know if you can really see her, but she's holding up a mask and staring at it. So this attachment card is about the stories that we use as identifiers for ourselves. So this woman is in the fog still because she's hanging on to the story of who she used to be in the mask. And so looking at these attachments, what are you hanging on to? I keep hearing smoking, negative thoughts, how we identify ourselves. Listen, when I was back in the corporate world, living a life with regular, steady income, I guess I'll give it that. I don't know how it's working out, but it is working out. But when I had that, my whole identity was how I was perceived by others and how I identified with this mask of who I was. Now, certainly my light and parts of who I am always shone through. But even for the longest time, even stepping out of a regular working world environment, my identifier was how I earned money, how I worked, and that's how I was celebrated within the family. So I'm using that as an example as to how we attach our ego. It is all the ego, the identifier, the I am, and how we identify who we are. So notice where your attachments are. Sometimes our attachments are to our old stories or from our past of who we were or how we were treated, and not letting that go, or not. Just notice where your attachments are. How are you attaching yourself? Is it to an old dietary routine that doesn't really work for you anymore? Are you attached to unhealthy behaviors that are serving you no joy, you don't receive joy out of it, it's time to mix it up. You know, we're evolving, changing human beings, and if we don't change our behaviors or our patterns into healthier patterns or healthier choices, we don't grow and expand to reach our full potential as human beings. So I went to the Divine Action Card deck, or the Watercolor deck as my friends call it, for a final bit of wisdom. And Spirit says, appreciate where you are. And the best way to do it, to appreciate where you are, is to simply slow down, sit and relax, and just notice all the things that are around you that you appreciate. Delicious water, a cup of tea, clean underwear, you know, clothing, all of these little things, hot water that we take for granted. Start with the small things and then build up to adding more and more as you learn to appreciate more. The more time we spend in appreciation and in loving where we are, no matter the circumstances, the greater that appreciation and that sense of well-being grows and expands. So I say turn on the music and dance it out. If you've got some old emotions or an old story that's stuck in your body, put on some music and move around. And you know, it doesn't have to be loud. You can just put on your headset and dance around in your room, and if somebody sees you, who cares? Make that space for yourself and move it out of your body so it doesn't get trapped and fester. You know, I've been reading a lot about cancer and how people treat it differently. And one of the key ingredients with treating long-term illnesses is moving all those old traumas out of our body. And that's not an easy thing to do on your own. So if you're interested in finding some deeper healing for yourself, feel free to reach out to me. I'm working with some amazing people, social workers and spirit guides and all kinds of alternative healings to chronic illnesses so that we can live our best possible life. All right, my dear, I hope you know how much I love you and how grateful I am that you stopped by my little channel. Welcome to my new subscribers. I'm so thrilled that you're here, and I look forward to seeing you next time.